you wouldn't survive on this planet. You have exactly 0.3 seconds before this planet kills you. Not minutes, not hours, seconds. Before your lungs collapse, before your blood begins to boil, before the sky itself tears your body apart, you're already dead. And the terrifying part? This place is real. It exists right now, somewhere out there in the darkness between stars, spinning silently like it's waiting for something foolish enough to land on it. Welcome to the most hostile world ever discovered by human science. Welcome to a place where the laws of nature, as you know them, don't just bend, they shatter. The moment you step out. Let's say, hypothetically, you survive the journey. Somehow, against all logic and physics, your spacecraft punched through the void and touched down. The landing ramp lowers. You stand at the edge. You take one step forward. Here's what happens next. Your spacesuit, the most advanced piece of survival technology ever engineered by human hands, begins to fail within seconds. Not because it's defective, not because the engineers made a mistake, but because no one on Earth ever designed a suit to withstand this. The atmospheric pressure outside is roughly 92 times greater than what you feel standing on Earth's surface. That's the equivalent of being buried under 900 meters of ocean water. Every square inch of your body is being crushed simultaneously from every direction with the force of a hydraulic press. If by some miracle the suit holds, the temperature finishes the job. We're talking 465 degrees Celsius. That's hotter than the surface of Mercury, despite Mercury being twice as close to the sun. Hot enough to melt lead like it's ice cream on a summer sidewalk. Hot enough to turn your spacecraft, the one you came here in, into a glowing, dripping puddle of metal within minutes. And the wind? The wind is blowing at 360 kilometers per hour, constantly, in every direction. There are no calm days here. There are no seasons. There is only the howling, never-ending rage of an atmosphere made almost entirely of carbon dioxide, the same gas that's slowly choking our own planet, but here, concentrated to a lethal extreme. This is Venus, Earth's so-called twin sister, our nearest neighbor, a world that billions of years ago may have had oceans, may have had life, may have had mornings just like yours. Now it is hell with a surface. The sky is trying to murder you. But Venus isn't even the worst part of this solar system's horror show. Let's talk about what happens if you look up. On Venus, the clouds are not made of water vapor. They are not the soft, white, cottony formations you see drifting lazily over a summer afternoon. The clouds of Venus are made of sulfuric acid, thick, dense, planet-wide blankets of it, swirling in enormous formations thousands of kilometers wide. When it rains on Venus, and it does rain in a manner of speaking, the droplets of sulfuric acid fall from the clouds, burning through everything below, except they never reach the ground. The surface is so hot that the acid evaporates before it lands. The rain falls endlessly, burns through the lower atmosphere, and then gets sucked back up into the clouds to fall again. An eternal, poisonous acid cycle. A planet where it rains acid, and the acid never even reaches the surface because the ground is too hot to touch it. You are standing in the middle of this. Your lungs, even if somehow still functioning, would be inhaling carbon dioxide at pressures that would force gas directly into your bloodstream in minutes. A condition called hypercapnia, where carbon dioxide poisoning causes disorientation, panic, convulsions, and finally, a deep, unconscious slipping away. Scientists describe it as almost peaceful at the end. The body simply stops fighting. That's the most peaceful death Venus offers. What the probes found, and why it terrifies scientists. Here is the thing that haunts aerospace engineers and planetary scientists to this day. We have sent probes to Venus, multiple probes. The Soviet Venera program, running from the 1960s through the 1980s, launched a series of robotic landers specifically designed, over-engineered, actually, to survive on Venus. They built them like tanks. They reinforced every seam, every seal, every circuit board. They used materials designed to withstand extraordinary heat and pressure. The Venera 13 lander touched down on March 1, 1982. It survived for 127 minutes. 127 minutes. That's roughly the length of an average movie. That's how long the most advanced Soviet space engineering of the 20th century lasted on Venus before the planet simply consumed it, crushed it, melted it, erased it from existence. And those 127 minutes were considered an extraordinary success. A triumph of engineering, a record that stood for decades. Think about that. Our greatest achievement on the surface of Venus was surviving for 2 hours. But Venus is not alone. If you think Venus is terrifying, let's leave our solar system entirely and talk about what astronomers have found lurking in the deeper dark. HD 189733b, a planet roughly the size of Jupiter, orbiting a star 63 light-years from Earth in the constellation Vulpecula. From a distance, it looks almost beautiful, a deep, vivid cobalt blue, like a sapphire hanging in the black velvet of space. Scientists initially thought the blue might come from water, from clouds, from something remotely familiar. It doesn't. The blue comes from silicate particles, tiny shards of glass, suspended in the upper atmosphere. The winds on HD 189733b reach speeds of 8,700 kilometers per hour. That is 7 times faster than the speed of sound, and those winds are carrying millions of microscopic glass shards in every direction, in a permanent, planet-wide storm that never stops, never slows, never sleeps. It rains glass sideways, at 7 times the speed of sound. A human body placed into that atmosphere wouldn't just die, it would be sandblasted into a fine biological mist within fractions of a second. There would be nothing left to bury, nothing left to recover, nothing left to identify. Just a brief red cloud that the wind would scatter instantly across a sky made of shattered crystal. The planet that literally boils. Now go deeper, go darker. WASP-12b is a gas giant so close to its host star that it completes one full orbit every 26 hours. For context, Mercury, the closest planet to our Sun, takes 88 days. WASP-12b takes just over a day. It is so close, so impossibly close to its star, that the star's gravity is actively tearing it apart. Every single day, the planet loses an enormous mass of material, gas, atmosphere, entire layers of itself, siphoned away into space like a slow-motion explosion that has been happening for millions of years. The surface temperature on the day side of WASP-12b reaches 2,250 degrees Celsius. The planet glows, not reflects light, generates its own visible glow from the sheer, incomprehensible heat of its existence. It absorbs 94% of all light that hits it, making it one of the darkest objects ever detected, despite being luminous with thermal radiation. You wouldn't need to land on WASP-12b to die. You wouldn't even need to enter its atmosphere. Getting within a few thousand kilometers of it, the tidal forces, the gravitational stretching caused by the star's proximity, would begin to pull your body apart in a process scientists call spaghettification. Your feet would be pulled harder than your head, your organs would stretch, your blood would rush in the wrong directions, and your body would slowly, irresistibly elongate into a thin stream of matter before being absorbed into the swirling chaos of the planet's disintegrating edge. The universe is not built for us. That is the profound, humbling, slightly terrifying conclusion that planetary science leads you to. The cosmos is vast and ancient and utterly indifferent, and the overwhelming majority of it would kill you without hesitation, without malice, simply because the conditions for your survival are extraordinarily, almost absurdly rare. Venus would crush and cook you. HD 189733b would shred you with glass. WASP-12b would stretch you into atoms. The frozen dark would shatter every cell in your body simultaneously. And yet, here you are, on the one world in the universe, as far as every telescope and probe and instrument humanity has ever built can determine, where the air is soft, the water flows, and the temperature is, most of the time, almost embarrassingly comfortable. You wouldn't survive on any of those planets. But those planets, in a strange way, are exactly why you should feel something when you look out of a window on an ordinary day and see green trees, hear rain, feel a breeze that isn't blowing at 8,700 kilometers per hour. You are standing on the most precious rock in the known universe. Act like it. The universe has 2 trillion galaxies. It built one garden. This is it.